In my opinion, Grux is a very meta hero. His kit provides him a lot of opportunities against some pretty other meta heroes, and there is great build potential. In this build, we are going for a good amount of damage in the early game, some very good utility in the mid and late game, into more of a frontline bruiser in the late game. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a hero building guide. I am Sylphin. This is my build, Hemorrhage clubs, with a very quick run through to start off the build guide. We have a health potion and a healer token if you want to take him in the off lane, if you so desire, with another healer token as well thrown in if you really need that sustain in the off lane. After that, or if you're in the jungle, which is most likely, you're going to start off with a Sage's Sylphin, into a Sage's Ward, into a Madstone Gem, into a Flashfire Piston, an Adamant Edge. Then you're going to go into the mid-game utility, Blood-Soaked Armor, Power Chord, Thermobond, Cup of the Vampire, your strong Guardian's Ward, and this Windcarver Blade. In this match that I'm going to showcase to you, I'm going to showcase the rarity instead of the common. Here, we're in the off lane with Grux, and it actually worked really well, considering I forgot to actually add my healer tokens at the time that I played this. So consider that this early game is going to be even better, and you're going to be able to take more damage and gonna get in there and secure those last hits even more than I do here. So please consider that. As you can see, I start off with my Sage's Ward. Now, why does this work? You can see here I'm kind of harassing the enemies here, and what you want to do is maybe make them hit you first and then go with your Q, which is the second ability that we get here as for that reason. The first is your right click, which is your bleed. Your bleed is called Double Pain and has 0.6 power scaling, dealing 60 to 120 damage by the end when you hit your target. What it also does is it causes them to bleed for 1% of their health each second. Very, very crucial part of Grux, and adds to his little bit of a burst with that initial damage, while also you know, just kind of being a part of his sustained damage. Now the next one that we get, the next ability rather, is his Smash and Grab, which you see me again using there to secure that kill on Decker. Smash and Grab is a cone ability that you pull enemies towards you with a very quick animation, dealing 75 to 210 damage at level 4 with a 14-second cooldown with an okay mana cost. Now, upgrading it once to level 2, as you saw me do there, gives it a pretty nice damage boost from 75 to 120. That's why that is what I'm doing here, just to make sure that when I do use that to kind of secure things like you saw me there, or secure them under tower, it'll be doing a little bit more damage than otherwise. Now, the last ability that I choose to get here, which is just because I had to play super safe, because again, Sage's Ward, is the charge ability. You charge forward a fair amount, 1200 unit range, dealing 40 to 160 damage to any enemies that you pass through. You don't really use it for that damage. I mean, it does add up with this whole rotation if you manage to get it off, but you can also just use that to escape, which is definitely what you're going to use it majority of the time, while also being able to secure kills with it, charging forward, being maybe an initiator in the late game with a good charge into a Smashing Grab, just like you see me do here. The Severog, unfortunately, I was hoping maybe he would use a Subjugate after my Smashing Grab to keep them under tower, but unfortunately we don't, and he still gets the kill on the Decker. Here I'm kind of thinking, where's my Smash and Grab? But I was like, no mana to try to maybe secure that kill, as Grux Severog has a great burst potential. Don't be afraid in this offlane to grab these white camps with your bleed that you did get first in order to help take care of that camp, because that's a consistent source of hero experience and card power that will really help you in the offlane. Now, Grux's ultimate is very, very interesting. What happens is he smashes his clubs together and producing a nice AoE effect that micro stuns. It is a stun, as you saw there, but also puts a bleed stack on the enemy hero, again taking 1% of their health in damage for its duration each second. But it also empowers your basic attack for 25 bonus damage at level 1 to 75 bonus damage at level 3. Each time you hit your enemy, you're dealing a ton extra damage. There was also a showcase of a fantastic charge to get away with some nice kiting there. Very fantastic, Grux. He's fairly slippery if you can save that charge for your disengage. Now, the second card that you've seen me get here after this Flashfire Piston is this, or after the Madstone Gem is the Flashfire Piston. As you saw there, if you position yourself to the side of a minion wave, you can just get the edges of your queue to pull the whole minion wave in, depending on how big. Usually, sometimes it's way too big and you can't get all of the minions, but normally you can. Again, position to the side, queue into a right click, boom, a ton of damage. Here at the 15-minute mark, because we're in the offlane, we don't have as much CP as we otherwise would, but you should be able to finish your Sage's War, Madstone Gem, maybe that Flashfire Piston, to go into a blood-soaked armor. Now, you might be like, well, there's also an adamant edge to get after this. Well, that is simply because you want that blood-soaked armor to put those bleed sacks on the raptors that become available at the 10-minute mark. The blood-soaked armor is fantastic for the raptors and really helps you out a ton. Check out this 1v1 boxing match between this crunch. I use my basic attack into an animation canceled double pain into the bleed into a smash and grab, or into my ultimate to give me that empowered basic attacks into a whole bunch of basic attacks. When I thought he might try to forward crunch out of the engagement, smash and grab to finish off the kill. Now here's an engagement that could have gone much better if I had landed my smash and grab. I go in, and now with my blood-soaked armor, trying to delete this Decker. I do miss the 3-person smash and grab, use my ultimate to put that bleed on everybody and get me that empowered basic attack. Hits. I totally demolish that crunch, but the Yin does a fantastic lash kick to get out of there. I try to get away with my E. I turn around, and that was my death. As you can see, that Ignis Squares probably would have got me, but that gadget mine wouldn't have gotten on me if I just kept running away. If I landed that 3-person smash and grab, that probably would have been enough damage for me to have killed that Yin, changing that entire engagement around. Grux is great at securing kills, and that's kind of what he does. That burst is really real with the Sage's Ward, Madstone Gem, and that adamant edge now that we have. As you can see, being able to just basic attack into animation canceled, double pain into another basic attack into a Q, that's a lot of damage, and you can do a lot with it. Also remember that your ultimate is a micro stun, so you can cancel Gideon ultimates, Narbash ultimates with your ultimate yourself. So make that as just remember that. You do have a very good kind of team utility with Grux as well. The Q can also obviously interrupt things. He has potential to really be a game changer in team fights. Plus, with the blood-soaked armor you saw me there using on the Raptors to great effect. You can also use that if you are being focused in the late game kind of, bruiser tank sort of build that we have for him here. That blood-soaked armor will chip away at any enemies that are attacking you. Watch this engagement here against this Yin. I'm not sure why I'm going in. She gets on me. I'm like, okay, fine. Smash and grab into the huge burst into my ultimate. The Muriel doesn't use her Honor the Pure. And she runs away. Oh, so unfortunate. If I had actually just kind of backed off of the tower, let her kind of come to me, kind of do a little bit more, and not let her take half my health off before I started to kind of run away and whatever, that would have gone much different. Now, another consideration is that Blood-Soaked works amazingly on Orb Prime as well. Those stacks work very, very, very much on Orb Prime because it has such a high health pool that 1% is a lot. So Blood-Soaked Armor on Orb Prime is fantastic. We keep the Blood-Soaked Armor because it is our basic armor card. Now, the next card that we get here is the Cup of the Vampire. 12.5% lifesteal against bleeding targets. Because his ultimate applies a bleed and his right click does indeed, applies a bleed and also, is only 5-second cooldown. And it lasts 4, I do believe. You can basically always have that lifesteal up. So Cup of the Vampire, huge value for Grux, as it's just an absolute fantastic card. What I should be doing here is going into more tank. It's the 31-minute mark. The enemy team's carry here is 44 or 41 CP. I should be going into more of my kind of bruiser focus, and that is what I'm doing here with the Guardian's Ward here, which you do get next because you want all of the health on this build as much as possible before your armor. You want the health before the armor. I should maybe be getting rid of my Madstone Gem here, using that CP and this Guardian's Ward to finish it off, and then go into our Cup of the, our Blood-Soaked Armor for that basic armor and some of the other cards. And we win this game pretty easily, 28-16. So the cards that you didn't see in that game that I didn't get to and I should have gotten, again, I should have gotten rid of this Madstone Gem, maybe even this Adamant Edge here, in order to get Power Chord and Thermobond. Power Chord, not really a defensive option, but what it does is on hit with basic attack, apply Blight to the enemy for 4 seconds. So, you're always pretty much going to be having this on the enemy, which is good. Quenching Scales is a fantastic support card that's basically in absolutely every single game. This will reduce that effectiveness by 40%. Also, Morigesh, Rampage, Chimera. Those are kind of the 3 people that I personally would pick Grux to counter. He works great on all of them. He can bruise with Chimera, and using his charge at the appropriate time, he can actually get away from him quite nicely. Again, Rampage, using this Power Chord against him is good, as you can actually use a smash and grab just as you know he's going to leap away to secure that kill. Power Chord, fantastic card here with major cast, just to kind of give that damage, still be that bruiser that he is. Thermobond here, heal for 12% of your maximum health over 4 seconds. That's because if you want to be that engaging front line hero, you can kind of charge in there with the smash and grab, and then they kind of stun, root you, and all this kind of stuff. You can survive from all of that business. 12% of your maximum health for 4 seconds. Fantastic. Really helps with that health that you need in the tankiness department. That is your barrier. The Blood-Soaked Armor is your guard, and then you finish it off with the Wind Carver Blade in the very late game in order to just kind of, compound the advantage that you have from being so tanky, so you can also do some damage. So the final build: Thermobond, Power Chord, Cup of the Vampire, Wind Carver Blade, Guardian's Ward, and Blood-Soaked Armor. Fantastic utility with the Blood-Soaked Armor. Cup of the Vampire, tremendous value, plus that basic pen is very much needed on Grux. The Power Chord to absolutely counter the Quenching Scales and those heroes we talked about, and Thermobond, so you can just still be there and they can do whatever they want and you are a Okay, let me know what you think about this build, ladies and gentlemen, down in the comment section below, because I feel like if you can get, you know, all of the kind of defensive cards here, a couple of Vampire Power and Thermal Bond and Blood Soaked, with that health from this Guardian's Ward, it will be tremendous. Please like this video if you like it, dislike it if you disliked it, share it with the community, and of course, guys, subscribe. You guys like this content, found it useful, please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Till next time, like always, stay optimistic and positive.